The wind stops. The oceans pause mid-breath. For a moment, everything, the clouds, the tides, even time itself, seems to hold still. Then chaos erupts. Every mountain, every city, every living thing is thrown into motion. Because for just 5 seconds, the Earth has stopped spinning. It's one of those impossible thoughts that gnaw at the edges of imagination. Our planet, this enormous, humming machine of rock, water, and life, turning at over 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, suddenly halting. What would happen if that motion stopped? Just 5 seconds. Not 5 minutes, not forever. 5 seconds. And yet, those 5 seconds could mark the most violent moment in the history of our world. To understand the magnitude of this, you first need to feel it. Right now, even as you sit still, you're moving, fast. The Earth spins eastward, dragging everything with it. Oceans, air, continents, you. The equator races around at about 1,670 kilometers per hour. Near the poles, that speed slows. But the momentum still exists. It's constant, invisible motion. Now, imagine the planet beneath you suddenly slamming to a stop, like a car hitting a wall. Everything not nailed to the bedrock keeps going. Every building, every tree, every drop of ocean water continues its eastward sprint. The ground beneath your feet halts, but you, your car, the atmosphere, everything else keeps moving. Cities would crumble instantly. Skyscrapers, bridges, even mountains would be scraped by hurricane-force winds turned into supersonic air currents. The atmosphere itself would become a weapon. At the equator, the air's inertia would be deadly. Imagine winds faster than bullets, over 1,000 miles per hour, ripping through forests, oceans lifting into the sky, entire coastlines torn apart. In 5 seconds, continents would lose their shape. The Atlantic might surge into Europe, the Pacific would rise over Asia, and the equatorial regions would be obliterated by the sheer violence of motion. But not everyone would die instantly. Far from the equator, near the poles, things would feel different. There, where the spin is slower, the damage might come seconds later. You might see the sky turning gray with dust and debris, hear a distant roar like a billion storms colliding, and then the air itself punches through you. And then, 5 seconds later, the Earth begins spinning again. But it wouldn't pick up neatly where it left off. The momentum would tear the crust apart. Earthquakes would detonate across fault lines worldwide. Volcanoes would awaken, oceans would still be surging over continents, and the atmosphere would be permanently changed. If you survived the first impact, you'd wake to a new world, a tilted axis, a scrambled magnetic field. The sky would burn red with dust. The moon, once steady in the night sky, might drift slightly off orbit, disturbed by the planet's sudden jolt. The days and nights could lengthen or shorten, perhaps unpredictably. Humanity would find itself in a climate it no longer understands. Now, the question, could this actually happen? Theoretically, no. There's no known physical force capable of stopping the Earth's rotation that suddenly, the planet's angular momentum is colossal. Think of it as the stored energy of motion. To stop it, you'd need an unimaginable amount of energy, equivalent to countless nuclear bombs detonating at once. Even a massive asteroid impact like the one that killed the dinosaurs wouldn't do it. It might slow the planet down by a fraction of a millisecond, but stop it completely? Impossible. Yet, exploring the impossible is what helps us understand how fragile our existence really is. The reason the Earth spins at all traces back to its birth. 4.5 billion years ago, when our planet was forming, clouds of dust and rock collided and fused. Conservation of angular momentum, The rule that motion wants to keep moving set the Earth spinning. Over time, that spin slowed slightly due to the pull of the Moon's gravity, which causes tides and subtly drags on Earth's rotation. But the spin itself, that original momentum, has been with us since the dawn of the planet. Without it, the Earth would be utterly alien. Our days would no longer be divided into sunrise and sunset. Half the planet would live under eternal daylight, scorched and dry. The other half would be locked in freezing darkness. The winds would flow endlessly between these extremes, creating storms more powerful than any ever witnessed. The oceans would migrate toward the poles, forming two immense seas with a desert in between. Gravity would shift subtly, changing the shape of our world. But what's fascinating is how dependent life is on that rotation. Everything from weather patterns to circadian rhythms relies on the steady turning of the Earth. Plants open and close with the cycle of light and dark. Animals migrate with the predictability of day and night. Even humans at a cellular level are synchronized to a 24-hour rhythm. Remove that spin, and evolution itself collapses. It's easy to take the planet's motion for granted because we never feel it. But in truth, it's one of the most essential forces shaping life. The spinning Earth creates the Coriolis effect, the invisible hand that steers weather systems and ocean currents. It gives us trade winds, hurricanes, and jet streams. It drives the seasons and balances the climate. If, by some impossible chance, the Earth did stop, even briefly, it wouldn't just destroy civilization. It would erase the systems that make life possible. The magnetic field protecting us from cosmic radiation might flicker or collapse, leaving the surface bathed in deadly solar particles. Communication satellites would tumble from orbit, their trajectories thrown into chaos. The International Space Station would drift helplessly, its path suddenly meaningless around a planet that no longer moves as expected. And yet, amidst all this destruction, there's something strangely humbling. The idea that our existence depends on the quiet, unstoppable spin of a planet floating through space. We build cities, empires, histories, and all of it rests on a globe rotating silently, predictably, perfectly balanced. You might wonder what 5 seconds could truly mean in the grand scheme of the universe. But on a cosmic scale, 5 seconds is an eternity. It's the difference between chaos and order, between life as we know it and the unthinkable. If the Earth stopped spinning, even for that brief instant, it would remind us just how fragile the balance really is. And perhaps that's the most powerful truth of all, that the stability of our world, the rise and fall of every civilization, every human dream, depends on something so simple, so constant, that we never even notice it. The Earth, turning faithfully beneath our feet. Because the day it doesn't is the day everything stops.